This happened during spring break of my junior year in college. 3 of my closest friends, Mark, Jenna, and Theo, and I planned a cheap car camping trip somewhere quiet in the American Rockies. We'd done similar trips since freshman year, but that semester we were broke, so instead of paying for a designated campground, we chose dispersed camping deep in national forest land. I found a spot through a camping app that listed free remote pull-offs. It was somewhere past a tiny mountain town, far down a winding forest road that seemed to stretch endlessly into the trees. The 4 of us had camped enough times together that setting up was second nature. We arrived in the late afternoon and found a clearing near what looked like a dried creek bed. Completely bone dry now, but clearly carved by water at some point. The area was incredibly isolated. No other campers, no tire tracks, no distant voices, no signs of recent human activity at all. It was exactly the peaceful, cheap, secluded vibe we wanted. We pitched our tents loosely spaced apart, maybe 15 feet between each one. Nothing precise, just whatever patch of ground looked flattest and least rocky. The rest of the evening was simple. We played cards, joked around, and had a few beers before turning in around 11. The drive had worn us out. Here's the strange part. I'm a light sleeper, at home, in a warm bed with white noise. I still wake up multiple times a night. Camping? Forget it. I usually wake up constantly, from cold air, noises, discomfort, everything. But that night, I slept like someone had drugged me, heavy, dreamless, unnaturally still. When I woke up in the morning, something felt wrong. Even before I unzipped the tent, the air felt off. I stepped outside and froze. All 4 tents had been moved, not bumped, not dragged by wind, not nudged by an animal, actually rearranged. They sat in a perfect square formation, evenly spaced, surrounding a stacked pile of stones in the exact center of the clearing. The stones hadn't been there before. And here's the part that still makes my stomach twist. The tents weren't disturbed internally at all. Stakes were perfectly embedded in the soil. My sleeping bag hadn't shifted. My phone was still plugged into my power bank, exactly how I left it. My gear was untouched, nothing stolen. I yelled for the others. Mark climbed out first, and the look on his face told me he saw the same impossible thing. Jenna and Theo joined us, equally stunned. None of us remembered anything. Then Jenna said she'd had an incredibly vivid dream about walking in a straight line through a barren desert while someone counted her steps in a whisper. Mark said he dreamt he was marching in formation like a soldier, matching footsteps with strangers. Theo and I didn't recall dreams at all, but it felt strange the 2 of them had eerily similar themes. The atmosphere between us changed. It's hard to explain, but it felt like our thoughts overlapped, like we were somehow connected in a way that wasn't natural. It felt as if there was a 5th presence, watching us, standing among us, and yet inside us. We searched the campsite for footprints, claw marks, tire tracks, anything. That's when we saw the drag marks in the dirt, leading from where the tents had originally been to where they were now. But the drag marks stopped about 10 feet short, meaning something had lifted them the rest of the way. 4 full tents, with sleeping people inside. Then the stone stack. 4 stones balanced on each other, and smooth, intentional, ritual-like. Mark stepped closer to inspect it, slipped, and knocked it over. The stones fell silently into the dust. And that exact second, all 4 of us heard it. A deep, low, grinding rumble coming from somewhere far in the trees. Like stone scraping against stone. Not an earthquake, not thunder. More like an ancient stone door being pushed open for the first time in centuries. Panic hit us simultaneously. Nobody discussed leaving, we just knew. It felt like our fear was shared, like we could feel each other's terror inside our own bodies. We packed faster than I thought humanly possible. 5 minutes, maybe less, but it felt like hours. We drove until we reached cell service, then farther. We didn't talk. Nobody turned on music. The silence was suffocating. That was 5 years ago. We don't really see each other anymore. Mark lives in Seattle now. Jenna is in grad school in Arizona. Theo moved to Boston with his girlfriend. We stay loosely in touch, but we never, ever talk about that night. Sidani, I'm scared that if we do, whatever connected us, might remember us.